What is up? Thanks for being here. We're going to talk about both Saturday and Sunday in terms of Twins baseball news. And the big minor league news this weekend was that four of the Twins' top five draftees from this past class are joining the Mighty Mussels. The one who isn't is first round pick Kalen Culpepper, who signed a little bit later. He was at Target Field this weekend, throwing out the first pitch and such. But Kyle DeBarge, Billy Amick, Kadeem Jiao, and Jaime Ferrer are all on the Mighty Mussels now. We even got a lineup for Saturday with all those guys in there, as you see. So super excited, but a storm in Fort Myers has kind of taken the wind out of my sails on that. So we didn't get to see those guys. Their game on Saturday was postponed to Sunday, and then both games today got canceled. So, thinking of Fort Myers, hopefully the weather isn't too crazy, a tropical storm there, making it hard to play baseball, but hopefully not making it hard for everyday life there. Anyway, on Saturday, the other teams played, and Louie Varland was the headliner for me. We'll take a look at some video of him in just a moment. But Connor Prelip did pitch. He pitched into the third inning. I think that was the first time this season he'd done that. Got through 2 innings clean, and then things got a little crazy there in his third inning, and unfortunately gave up a bunch of runs. He had some runners he left inherited that scored as well, but he did strike out 5 in 2 2/3 innings, so it wasn't all bad there. And CJ Culpepper actually pitched in that game as well. He pitched 2 perfect innings with 3 strikeouts out of the bullpen for the Colonels. So a couple guys working their way back from injury, but again, mentioned that we want to take a look at some Louie Varland video. Let's get into that. He has been really excellent of late for St. Paul. Over his last 30 and a third innings, he has a 1.48 ERA, a 1.15 whip, and 35 strikeouts. Opponents have a 590 OPS against him over that stretch, again, of 30 and a third innings. So Louie throwing the ball great, which is good to see because we saw him on the Twins for, I think, two games in mid-June. And then when he went back to St. Paul, his first outing was a train wreck. He gave up 11 earned runs in his first game back with the Saints. This nice stretch started right after that. So kind of really did a great job of putting that behind him immediately and is throwing the ball really well. As you can see here, his baseball savant data topped out at 96.7 miles per hour. Really varied his secondaries, mixing the knuckle curve, the changeup, and the cutter, along with his four-seamer, which he got 7 whiffs on the four-seamer. You saw in those highlights he was locating that up above the zone pretty well. But on Saturday, Twins won, Saints won, Surgeon Colonels lost. From the Twins game, that one was a little close for my comfort for being against the White Sox, but they pulled away late. And part of that was because Austin Martin and Brooks Lee got some things going together late. Good to see the bottom of the lineup and those two guys in particular having 2 hit nights, and Martin also drew a walk. Bailey Ober got the start for the Twins in that one. It was excellent. Only 2 hits over 7 innings, through 88 pitches to get through 7 innings. Just a really great, crisp outing for Bailey Ober. Moving on over to today's action, Justin Topa really going to hone in on the Saints pitching depth right now. But Justin Topa, on this pitch, I just want to show the replay system that we have right now in AAA. It does take a little bit longer than in high A, in A ball, where they're doing it in Fort Myers, because in AAA they're showing this on the video boards at all the stadiums, and this is completely unedited. I haven't touched this at all. This is how fast it goes, even in AAA. So it is a little bit more delayed since they want to keep the crowd involved and know what's going on. But that was it. But just Justin Topa ended his outing today with a strikeout. You see he gets such great arm side action on a lot of his pitches, the sinker in particular. He's a guy we've seen him a lot with the Saints for having not seen him with the Twins, to be honest. Guy who picked up in the Jorge Polanco trade from the Mariners, had a great year last year for them. This was his 9th minor league appearance. And the big reason for that is he had 4 outings in late April, early May with the Saints before he had to get shut down. He's got a knee injury. It sounds like he's going to have off-season surgery, but they're going to try to get him along this year without that. And, I think maybe that has to do with why they want to see how he's recovering. This was his 5th outing of this particular rehab assignment that started on July 23rd. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's the last one, but I did want to call out some of his velo is down a bit from last year. Those are the year average on this screen is from last year. So the sinker sitting 1.7 miles per hour below last year. The cutter 1.5. Is that a big deal for a guy like Justin Topa? Not that he's a pitch to contact guy per se, but he's definitely more of a location movement type guy than a just I'm going to blow you away with velo. So would like to see that back to where it was last year and can kind of be more confident in his ability to pitch as well as he did last year with that. But that's not to say that he can't come up and help the Twins, and it would be good. I'm sure he would like his next outing to be in the big leagues. That's a long time for a guy to be in his ninth appearance in the minors this year for St. Paul. And again, he kind of had to get ramped up and then shut down again. So there's certainly reason for that. Anyway, here are the starting pitching rundown from today's games. Again, the Mighty Mussels did not play. Spencer Bengard did not start for the Colonels, but he made his Cedar Rapids debut and threw 3 shutout innings. So a guy who had been pitching really well for Fort Myers pitches really well here. He did walk 2 and give up a hit and only the 1 strikeout over 3 innings, but that's a really nice way to get his time with the Colonels started for sure. And then on the hitting side, there you see today Walker Jenkins, 2 walks and a hit by pitch. It's been slow going for him so far. He was the DH today. Since being promoted to Cedar Rapids, he's just 3 for 17 with all of those hits being singles. So we'll kind of continue to keep an eye on him. But Twins win. Surge win. Saints. What a crazy game that was. The Saints, they went into extra innings. The Saints scored 4 runs in the top of the 10th inning and then gave up 4 runs. In the bottom of the 10th inning, I think they scored again in the 11th, but then gave up 2 runs in the bottom of just crazy that you can get a 4-run lead in extra innings and then lose. But that happened today for the Saints, unfortunately. On to some Twins info. Royce Lewis went deep, drove in 3, had a couple hits and a walk. Joked around about MLB drug testing him more often and how they're only going to find ice cream in his veins the other day. That was one of the better quotes of the year. Byron Buxton made a really nice catch in center field, but then they immediately took him out. They're already proactively saying there's nothing wrong. We just figured we'd take him out. Game was kind of out of hand. We just figured we'd take him out there. It was to end an inning. So, hopefully there's nothing more that comes from that. I probably would have done the same, just, given Byron's injury history. Why not? You had a comfortable lead as well. On the pitching side, the Twins won 13-7. I think they got up 8-0 though. And the pitching staff didn't have as much of like a killer instinct as I would have hoped. Woods Richardson getting that big lead, being against the White Sox, you figure he should handle them pretty well. He did strike out 6 guys in 4 innings, so he was missing bats, but he walked 3. He only goes 4 innings. It takes him 89 pitches to do that. Just not his best outing, especially given the competition here. This is a team that now has 20 consecutive losses, the White Sox. That is rough. I feel bad for that. It takes a lot for me to feel bad for for any division rivals fans, but I feel bad. I feel terrible for them. This is ugly, man. But I just want to shout out Cole Sands because he really did a great job of kind of stabilizing things. They needed him to throw 2 innings. He threw 2 innings, 2 shutout innings, struck out a couple batters. And then you see kind of things got wobbly again. Alcala gave up 2 runs. Dobnak gave up 2 runs. I'm guessing, I would guess the plan may have been, maybe I'm too confident here, but I was expecting they were thinking Dobnak would cover the final 2 innings, and he didn't even cover his inning. He needed Okert to come in and bail him out, and then Trevor Richards pitched the 9th. Anyway, the Twins won, swept the White Sox. That felt like I said this on Friday, it felt like kind of a no-win series, and that if you sweep them, well, you're supposed to sweep them, at home against a team with a 20-game losing streak now. Ugh. So if you would have lost even one of these games, it would have just been a disaster of a series, it feels like, just with how bad this team is, especially even like post-deadline. Now they're even worse after trading away some guys. Yuck. So the Twins took care of business, though. And none of these games were close. The Saturday felt closer than 6-2 because they kind of pulled away late. But Anyway, Twins sweep. Twins are going to Chicago to play 3 against the Cubs, as you see there, then off on Thursday, and then this big weekend series with the Guardians where it opens with a doubleheader because it's a makeup game from April. So Friday is going to be a doubleheader against Cleveland. Should be really interesting to see how things go. Nothing's going to get decided this weekend. We are into August, so it's getting later in the year, but still a whole lot of time left and so much to be decided between Cleveland and the Twins and the Royals and the Red Sox and all the whole American League wild card picture / AL Central. It's going to be fun, and this is a big weekend for sure, for sure. So thanks for checking out this video. I appreciate you. We'll talk again soon.